detangled. You can't really see too much here, but today I thought that we would untangle at least some of these. Some of these aren't, like most of the ones on top here aren't like super tangled, but ones that aren't like full skeins, like this one right here is a full skein, it hasn't been touched yet. Ones that aren't like that, I'm gonna roll up into balls. I wish I had a yarn winder, a good yarn winder, because I do actually have a yarn winder, but it sucks really badly, and the cakes always get tangled, and I don't want to use it. So we're not gonna use that. It doesn't, and it doesn't allow for much yarn at all to go in the cake. Like, it's just so small and terrible. And anyway, so we're just gonna be rolling them up into balls. And I hope that this will be relaxing for you, because it's most likely not going to be very relaxing for me. And I'm probably gonna get a lot of fibers up into the air, up into my, my nose, and get a really runny nose. That's what usually happens. So we'll see how long I can go before that gets too bad and I have to be like, okay, I'm sniffling too much, it's time to get off. So let's get started. Let me pull this. I'm gonna pull this out and just put it on the ground while I do this. I didn't get anything to put the finished balls of yarn in, which was kind of dumb of me probably, but we'll see what we do here. So let me just put this down over here. Like this, these two have not been touched, so they are still in their skeins, perfectly nice and tight, and won't come undone. So these I'm just gonna put on the side. These are fine. But then this, it's still in its skein, but it's very loose. It has a very big risk of getting tangled. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it in a bowl. And luckily this has a center bowl, so first this one will be way easier than the others, because I don't actually have to untangle anything. I just have to wind it up. There's a way to use like a magazine or like a piece of paper or something to make a yarn cake with a center bowl, but I've never done that before, and I don't really have that kind of time. So we're just going to be rolling them up into balls like this, and that's probably perfectly fine to do here. So hopefully you can see me okay. I noticed in the last video that I kind of went like really down here, and I was still in frame, but I wasn't centered, so I'm gonna try to work on that. I've been okay with it so far, but for some reason the last video, sorry, I keep hitting my elbow on the table. So some of these balls with a lot of yarn are probably going to take us a long time to get through, but not nearly as long as if I have to tangle it, or untangle it, detangle, untangle or detangle with yarn, because it's detangle with hair. Is untangle even a word at all? I don't even know. I know detangle is a word, obviously, because that's what you use when you're detangling hair, but I feel like it's yarn, it's not hair. I feel like it would be untangle, but is untangle even a word at all? I don't even know. Anyway, it's interesting to think about. I do that a lot, where I'm like saying something still haven't posted. My sister might be posting soon, but because she's working on a project right now that she said she was gonna post, but who knows if she actually will. We're getting into the part where it's gonna tangle up a little bit, but we just need to be a little careful to kind of prevent that from happening. It does that because I wrapped it around itself to prevent the other end from coming out when I was using the center pole, so it's just kind of what happens. Alright, there we go, and there's our first bowl done. And then in order to prevent these from coming undone, I'm just going to tuck this end in. I do it twice because it worries me, but that way it won't come undone to tangle even more. So let's just set that off to the side. Oh my gosh. The state of this tangle is insane. I think I need to pull this out to deal with it, but anyway, this is what I'm working with. It's even worse than it looks, I think, because this. See, this is what I was talking about. This is that I made a cake, and it just completely. Anyway, so this is a problem for sure. Let me grab this. There's a lot of cat fur on here because my roommate's cat really likes to play with yarn, and so we are trying to get a better solution for this stuff so that it's not covered. And that's the reason why it's so tangled as well, is because she likes to sit on it and then it just comes undone and tangles around itself and then mats into itself. So that's pretty much why it is like that. But you can't even see all the yarn that's stuck in the box still that's coming out. So we're just gonna, oh look, there's a piece that I can just toss off to the side. So we're gonna start here. Let's see if I can get this one just pulled out really quick. That should have an end. Oh, it's in there a lot more than I thought it would be. Let's see, that should find the end here. Yeah, there it is. Okay, good. So I can pull this through. And get this out of the giant mess of a pile here. Yeah. So, just a thought, always store your yarn in closed boxes that your pets can't get into, because this is what happens when you don't. Okay. So I could definitely roll this one into a ball now, but I think I'm going to wait to do that. I want to get this green out of here because it is a disaster, and it'll probably be the easiest one outside of the fur connecting it together to get out of itself, because it's not going to have any pieces of stripped yarn that have kind of wrapped around itself, because that's what happens with worsted yarn. And stuff with layers like this, it'll come undone and then wrap around itself. I don't even know exactly how it does that, but let me get this yellow out of here. Oh, it's not the opposite, and it is not even the same skein of yarn, so that's interesting. Oh, here's the end for that piece. Okay. Through, and then get this out of here for now. So I know you probably can't really see what I'm doing right now, but that's okay. Alright. So I need to find the end of this green, which I'm thinking one will definitely be in here. So, and it's right there. Look at that. Okay, I found it already, so that's good. Alright. So now basically I just need to untangle it as best as I can and start to roll it up into a ball here. Oh, goodness. Hear how statically, it's like statically stuck together. Alright. This is just, I don't know how this even got like this really, so this is kind of insane to me. I think I need to start rolling that up because it's gonna get too much yarn out that it's gonna start tangling again. But I wanted to make, I have a pink in this size of yarn and a white. So I wanted to make those dangos in this big too. It's just like a little plushie. But I kind of need this untangled before I do that, so that's here. And for those dangos, I'll probably do those as a stock item because I just don't really have, like, these yarns are not in, whoa, sorry, I hit the microphone. Hopefully that wasn't too loud. This yarn and the pink yarn aren't in store for me. Like, I don't have anywhere to go. So they would have to be shipped to me, and since my store, most of my items are made to order, it's just not realistic. Like, if I don't have any of this on hand for me to do that. So if I just make a bunch and have them on stock, and then they can be a limited item, or I can put aside some of the money that I make, if I ever sell them, to buy more of this yarn and make some more. So we'll see what happens there, because I have, my sister does cash stuffing. She has a channel of her own as well. It's called Neurodivergent Budgets. A couple people might know her that are subscribed to me because she kind of sent you guys over. So she has a binder that she gave me for the business. So if I do that, I'll just put some money in that, and then she can, I'll give her some money to put in there, and she can stuff it in for her videos. So, sorry, I know, like, I keep going out of frame, but it's a bit difficult to do this in frame because there's just so much here that it, there we go, okay. Jessie of her dog. So I'm starting to get some fibers in my eye here, so that's cool. No runny nose yet, which I think that's a record for that. I'm trying to clean this urine as I go. Wow, man. Wow. I really don't know how it gets like this. I mean, I know, like, but I know conceptually, but I don't really understand, like, practically how this happens. Oh my gosh. There really is just fibers, like, coming up and getting me. It's begun. I'm like allergic to dust. That's what the doctor said when I was younger. But so when I have stuff like this where it's dusty and it comes up, because it just hasn't been touched in a while, I get really puffy and my nose gets all runny. Trying to get this. Usually once I sneeze, like, even if I'm not doing something like this, like if I sneeze at all, my nose starts running. It's genuinely the worst. But I wonder how many Dango plushies I could make with this yarn. Because I have a decent amount of both this, because this was basically a full skein, and I think the pink is also basically a full skein. Which the pink is in my other yarn monster box. I have 2 of them. I used to have 4, but then I took care of 2 of them, and now I have 2. That's, yeah, that's how math works. So, oh my goodness. Our Pride products are on the website now, so you can order some of those to get ready for Pride. I know the state of our country is a bit scary, but I think it's important to still celebrate and show our pride and our perseverance. So those are up. We have bandanas and coin purses, little coin pouches. So, and I'll probably be brainstorming a couple other products here. I have to, honestly, the products we have now aren't really like final products because we're gonna switch the yarn that we use from Red Heart Super Saver to I Love This yarn because for colors, the I Love This yarn just has more options and we can get more flags because of it. Like with the Red Heart, we can't really get every flag, and even in some of the flags that we can get, like the buy one washing it in the bowl would just not really work out. So I have to make it into a hank and then put it in, and then I'll hope and pray that it doesn't retangle. If you're wondering like how you can wash your yarns before you begin a project, if you get those mesh bags, you can wash them in that. Those little mesh bags I usually use for like small items or underwear, stuff like that. Those are great for cleaning your yarn. Okay. Oh, we're done. Wow. Okay. I don't know how long that took me, but it felt like forever. So let's tuck this end here so it doesn't come undone. And tangle again. There we go. Alright, set this off to the side. Now, this yellow is certainly going to be a task. I have no idea where the end even is, but let's get this white out of here. Is that white? Yeah, that's white. What even is that yarn? I don't know what type of yarn this white is. I can't tell. Maybe it's red heart, but I didn't think. We have separate bins for red heart, so I don't know why it would be in there. Alright, well, anyway, this yarn, this yellow, I know that this is the Karen Simply Soft yarn. My grandma actually bought it for me because I had this idea when I first started crocheting to make half a blanket and then give it to my grandma who also crochets. I did it with both my grandmas because they both crochet. But one of my grandmas didn't really get it. She didn't end up finishing the blanket ever. But the other one, she loved the idea, and so she finished the blanket that I had sent, and then she made one for me with this that I got to finish. And I thought that was so cute. I still have it, obviously. But it started falling apart a little. Because I can't say at the time that I was very good at. Oh, look, the end. Cool. I can't say it's already like it started to fall. I'm gonna restart that though because I don't want it to be like tangled at the end. Okay, there we go. But at the time I was not very good at making sure my ends were secure. I've gotten a lot better about that because I've learned my lesson, and now I'm way more paranoid. So I've learned my lesson, and I will not be doing that anymore, to say the least. I'm kind of losing my mind a little bit here because how? Like, there's no way this is just one skein, right? Like, that's so much yarn. I guess maybe it's a full skein, but I don't remember how much yarn comes in each one of the Karen Simply Soft skeins. It's been so long since I've wear that yarn. That used to be my favorite. After, she sent me some. I used to love this yarn so much, but nowadays it's a little thin for my preferences. So, nowadays I prefer a little bit thicker yarn. So, oh my gosh, look at this. And also, gnarly is still stuck in my head. So do that information what you will. It doesn't help that it's like every 5 TikToks is that song. So, oh, okay. Well, that was the whole thing. That's gonna go in my scrap bin. That is not enough yarn to just have out and about like that. Okay. advice I could give people when trying to, I'm just gonna unravel, that's fine. Pull the end through instead of the thing, that'll be a lot easier. But the advice I will give people trying to untangle yarn is that don't pull it super hard. That is how you make it worse. In my experience, if you just yank it, you'll literally just make the knots tighter, and then it gets to a point where you just have to cut your losses and just snip it. Oh, there's no knot in here. How did that happen? It's 100% my fault from when I started winding it up. And then just let it go, because I was getting annoyed. But if you have the end, you can just tug it very gently to find the next part of it where you can pull it out. But like I said, don't pull like super tightly or super rough, because you will regret it. I can tell you that much. I really would like to start winding this, but it's so like knotted up right here. It really would just be to my detriment if I started winding it up. I think, well, I just got it out, so maybe it's fine now. I can start winding it before it starts dangling again on the bottom there. Okay, got a nice solid base there for going through here. Also, like 90% of like tangles are literally just the yarn folding over itself. It's not actually knotted. Like you can see, like some of these are literally like just loops of yarn that have just folded over themselves and twisted up. So you just have to unwrap it and untwist it, basically. Yeah, see, like that. It's just a loop that got wrapped around itself and then caught on things. And always hitting myself. Whoa, I dropped it. explain it. This one's really knotted up here. Sucks. Keep almost dropping it. It's just wrapped around itself so many times. Trying to Jesus. I'm trying to put the ball of yarn closer to the microphone a couple of times, just so that you can hear it when I'm rolling it up. I'm sure you can hear it when I'm over here, but I think it's just nice to get a little closer sometimes. It sort of feels like I'm never gonna finish detangling this ball. You have to be honest. I probably won't show myself detangling all of this because I think it would just take too long, but I want to get through at least more than 3 balls of yarn to untangle here, so okay, great. start getting a runny nose, and because I always do, whether I'm winding yarn or even if it's a brand new skein, just, fibers get kicked up into the air, dust gets kicked up into the air, and it's over for me. I've got a perpetual runny nose. Honestly, I've got pretty bad rhinitis as is. Like, my nose is decently runny all the time, so when I'm doing this, it gets a little worse, but like it gets to a point, where it's just miserable and I can't continue, so I've been untangling this one ball of yarn for 20 minutes, by the way. Thought I just saw another end there, but I guess not, because I didn't see it again when I was actually looking for it. I mean, maybe I did, but because that's why this gets tangled, is because both of the ends just decide to come out, even when I tuck them on these cakes, they're not good. So I'm hoping to get a really nice yarn winder at some point, but as of right now, that is definitely just not in the cards for me. Come on, fit through. You can do it. Come on. There we go. Oh my goodness. Oh, I thought I had to go back through again, and I was So I'm gonna roll that all up and then and let my videos upload to my USB, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I finished my yellow ball here. So we're just gonna do one more. We're just gonna do this one. Because doing the rest of this took me literally another 34 minutes. And my sister's gonna start coming home here soon. So I gotta finish and clean up and get out of her room. So let's just do this one. I just had, there it is. I was like, I just had the end. So we're just gonna do this one because this one shouldn't be super tangled, but I mean, it looks a little tangled, but not that bad. So we'll see. Actually, it's all wrapped around itself. I don't even know what yarn this is. It's maybe Premier. I could totally be wrong on that though. Okay. I have to get my end back now. Because I kind of just threw it. Alright. Start. Like I said, this shouldn't be too bad, but it does have a little fur on it, so that definitely won't help, because it'll make everything stick together. So I'm gonna have to just take note of all the ones that really need to be washed, and get that taken care of at some point. Because, yeah, I don't want to use these until they're cleaned. I don't even know what this yarn is. I have so much scrap yarn that I just have such a, not scrap yarn, but just a stash. I have a humongous stash. And my sister started going through some of it, because we just share yarn. But my sister started going through some of it, doing some scrap blanket projects and whatnot, but yeah, she went through a decent amount, but definitely not all of it. Not even like half of it, actually. So, like, we just have so much yarn, and it's like, I don't even know what to do with it, because it's so random. And some of them, like, I got some stuff at thrift stores and estate sales and stuff, and I've gone through a lot of them, but some of it is still left, so I have no idea what yarn it is, and some of these yarns I bought so long ago that I don't even recognize, what yarn it is, so that's why we have, we have our red heart separated, and at some point I'm gonna get a bin to put all of our I love this yarn in, so that it's separate, so that, because we use it for so many projects, like that's a red heart and I love this yarn are gonna be our main yarns for stuff we make, especially for stuff for the business. So let's just do one more easy one then. I thought it would take me so much longer, but I have a little bit. If I can get this tucked, jeez. Okay. I thought I definitely wouldn't have that much time, but apparently I do. Okay, there's my ball. Let's just do an easy one so that I don't take up too much time. But let's do another one of these schemes that aren't, they're on their list. knows, it would probably not be very wise, sound-wise, so I'm gonna go. Here's all the balls that we got today, and it's really not a lot at all, but with how tangled this one was, it literally took me almost an hour to untangle this one. I guess it's fine. At least I got the worst of it. This was honestly the worst of it. So I'm gonna go. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please consider liking and subscribing and checking out my other social medias, as well as my website where you can purchase some of my crochet. And I hope that you have a really good rest of your day or night or whatever time it is for you. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.